Welcome back to Fire Force Anime Review, episode number 43. This I'm discussing the newest episode of the anime, which is the third to last episode of the season, Plot for Extinction, and the 257th manga, The Bastard Incarnation of the Hot-Blooded Despair. Yes, that is seriously the name of the next episode. This episode ends the Joint Investigations arc. Now, this adapts from... Seriously, my notifications can get in the way of what I actually don't want to do here. Okay. Alright, it adapts pretty much the rest of chapter 163 from pages 9 to 20. Goes the entirety of chapters 164 and 166 and goes to about 4 pages into chapter 167, basically pages 2 through 5. Yes. Now, there's a couple of major things that happen in this episode. First of which, we still have the fight between Shinra and Giovanni, though they're joined by Arthur. It's a pretty good battle between the two of them. Of course, they have a loose tie-in with this one to what goes on with the rest of the group, what they're up to. So they fight for a while, and of course, Giovanni said something, and of course, well, Shira points out, though, that she doesn't trust him due to the fact he knew about his bloodlust from when he first met him back at the Vulcan's workshop. He's like, really? You detected my bloodlust? Interesting. I have a connection to the Dota Link. Yes, interesting. Because he's close to somebody who has a link to the Dota Link. That's interesting. And according to Shira, Giovanni is one of 2 people who has done this to him, where they would communicate via the Dota Link. The other one was Lieutenant from Company 7. Interesting. Which Giovanni found to be interesting after fighting for a while. Of course, he got sliced by Arthur, who had to basically be just a mopey, emotional guy. And, well, he thought, oh yeah, you have a cold-blooded killer in your payroll. Yep. And, of course, he gets away. And don't worry, this is not the end of him. He'll be back. Don't worry about it. Meanwhile, everybody else basically figured, okay, they figure out that there's going to be a big explosion. We need to figure a way to contain it, per se, without blowing up all of Tokyo. So, the second generation fire soldier take care of this. Luckily enough, that Vulcan contacted Maki, which I love the revelation of this. Basically, in the manga, I was like, oh, look, there's Maki, wearing a Company 8 jacket and hat, or in her hat. In the anime, they actually show her, like, walking in, and not like for camera shot, but her brother's like, what are you doing here? It was like, I took you at the front lines, and of course, there's a sexist thing in here, where it's like, oh, you're a woman, and she points out, though, the Flames don't care what gender I am. Let me do this, okay? Let me do my job. And lucky enough, her brother basically memorized all the maps of the underground, all maps of Netherworld, which that's interesting. So, thanks to him basically having knowledge of the Netherworld and her using her control thing of controlling fire, they would basically push it down deep underground into the bedrock to put out the fire, so it won't basically blow stuff up. Also, Giovanni reveals during his fight with Shira that he apparently his brother's show has been neutralized and made into a doll of the second pillar, where she has proceeded to make him a doll for some reason and put lipstick on him. Don't know why, but that's basically how they present it. And of course, her guardian basically is told not to look away from this. Yeah, her guardian, not Shira. I think it's Shira's guardian. Told not to look away from this. Why in the world that the white-clad soldiers decided to do this? No idea. They just decided to do it. In the manga, there's no bot. Like, just basically, I think just keep Shira basically neutralized, whatever. And, well, then they show the aftermath. Like, of course, they finish it. Of course, they gotta have all the wounded soldiers, anyone who died. And they show Juggernaut. Now, this is actually one of a couple changes they made to it, because in the anime, when they show Maki controlling her fire, they don't show her with the fire stuff, basically show her hands, which I thought was kind of weird. The other change they made to it is Juggernaut's face. In the manga, he's like covered in soot, and he's like much more bruised than he presented in the anime. In the anime, he's got a couple scars in his face. Tamaki has got like a few scars in her face too, which I think for her, they kept her accurate, but not Juggernaut for some reason. They did mention that he lost an arm, like part of an arm, a leg, and he's like severely burned, but he'll be perfectly fine. And don't worry, he'll as for if he'll come back per se, I don't think he's in the next arc, this is Maki. I don't remember if he is. Also, Maki asked the lieutenant, Of course, he has to goes to him keep away from because he thinks he's just some mindless brute. So he has to can transfer back to the company. It's like, sure, I'll file paperwork right away. He's like, really? That's easy? Yep, that's easy. Okay. And they cut back to company headquarters where she's been named platoon leader, even though they don't have a platoon. Oh yeah, and she basically just used a judo flip on Arthur for daring to call her a Cyclops ogre. And of course, Hybra is there. Why is she there? To have a meeting. It's not explained in the episode, but they're probably going to explain it in the next episode per se why she's there. And it's nice to see her. She's been missing the whole arc, which is okay. Yeah, the thing with her is, unlike the first season, she appeared a good bunch the first season. This season, she hasn't really appeared that very much. She's appeared in a small handful of episodes, which that's kind of weird. I mean, she appeared for the opening episode of the season. If you read, wow, her appearance has been very scarce in season 2. Well, that's because she hasn't appeared that much in the manga at that point, so that could explain it. And everything is kind of back normal, and that's that. It's an overall really good episode, and nice wrap up to the Joint Investigations arc. Now, starting with episode 20, the 23rd episode of the season, which is also the 47th episode of the series, it starts the adaptation of the Stigmata arc, which they only even finished because they only adapt 2 chapters of it. Now, the arc itself is roughly, it is roughly 8 chapters. And as far as I can tell, they don't really finish adapting for this arc season. No. I would have thought they would. Actually, yeah, it's 8 chapters. I would have thought they would, but apparently they didn't because it's still ongoing. That or the fact they didn't conclude it by the end of the season. Who knows? I'll find out when I get a chance to finish watching episode 48. Alright, let's talk about this newest chapter of the manga. The Bastard Incarnation of Red Hot Despair. Chapter starts off where we have last week, where Lieutenant Rucka is alive. He's been revived, thanks to being revived in the body of a doppelganger. Oh yeah, he remembers everything. Everything. Yep. You're oh, get hot blood again? He's asked frequently, does he remember everything? What happened before he died? He's like, yep, he remembers everything. And also, of course, we have one of one of his co-lieutenants basically punching him, and of course they brawl for a while, and of course they chat. There's a lot of chatting this chapter. He's talking about praying to God. Of course, they have this little close-up shot of a hole in his chest. I believe that was Arrow who did that to him during the course of the first season, during the first Company 1 arc. And then we see one of the members of White Cloud Soldiers basically says, fight your former friend in despair. Defeat Rucka along with him. No matter what option. Yeah. And then we see a copy of Captain Hoog. And we see Fawit. Now you're probably thinking, why the Fawit is there? Well, that's actually a play on TV censors. Yeah, it's explained via the translated notes of this chapter that the reason why that's there is because it's a play on TV censors which tend to censor any swearing, per se. That's the reason why it's there. And then they have, this drill sergeant lieutenant and another lieutenant, I don't remember this guy's name, where they fight the doppelganger of Captain Agu from Company 4. And they fight for pretty much most of the chapter. And then we see Vulcan and Arthur on the way to Company headquarters, where is a promise on the Shrine of Awakening, Special Fire Force Company 8. A true trial awaits me here. Yeah, this actually, now they arrived at the Company headquarters, which is the first time they've actually been here since Obi's rescue. It's been that long, because the reason why it's been so long has been here because they've basically been staying in Asakusa, the home of Company 7, mainly because they were declared traitors to the Empire because what happened in Obi's rescue. That was basically the reason for it. Yep. It's a good chapter. We got the chapter roughly a 9 out of 10. It's a good chapter. Definitely looking forward to next chapter that comes out. So, there's that. So, yeah, that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned for our next reviews, which will be a comic corner. Actually, it'll be overall basically 2 comic corners, 2 manga-only reviews today, because One Piece decided not to release new episodes today for some reason. But there's going to be a new review of New Shadow Manga and One My Hero Academia. And of course, Boruto happening today. Now, I do want to make an announcement here. There will not be a review of Attack on Titan tomorrow. The reason being because it was released by Funimation that the episode has been delayed. Why, you might ask? There was an earthquake in Japan. That was the reason for it. Which, okay, that is perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with that reason for delay. It's fine with me, which means I'll probably get like another week of this anime. Heck, they might even throw out another episode they wanted to. Maybe give an episode 76. It's possible. So yeah, 73 was delayed. So after today, next time you see new anime, like for regular reviews, won't be until Tuesday because nothing coming tomorrow. But I will probably put out a video tomorrow, hopefully. So overall, I'd say I'm hopefully putting out about 5 more videos. Okay, see you next video. Bye.